11 Alive News at 6 p.m. starts now.
Well, tonight there is sadness across Georgia, especially within Bulldog Nation, as two people tied to the UGA football program were killed in an overnight crash. This morning we learned 20-year-old Devin Willock, an offensive lineman, and 24-year-old Chandler LaCroix, who served as a member of the football staff, died while traveling overnight in Athens. Good evening, I'm Kristen Crowley. This happened just hours after the Bulldogs celebrated their second straight national championship with thousands of their fans. Now there's an outpouring of sadness and just complete shock. We have team coverage on this developing story coming up. Reggie Chapman provides perspective on this tragedy to UGA. But first, let's go live to Athens, where 11 Alive's Dawn White joins us now with the very latest on this story. Dawn.
Feel the grief in the air here at UGA. Fans were celebrating the national championship title win here at Sanford Stadium yesterday, and today the campus is grieving the loss of two people. Let's take a look at some video that we shot earlier. This crash killed 20-year-old offensive lineman Devin Willock, along with Chandler LaCroix. She worked for the football team as well. Athens Clark County Police say LaCroix drove the vehicle just before 3 a.m. today along Barnett Shoals Road in Athens. Investigators believe the SUV left the road, hitting two power poles and several trees. Offensive lineman Warren McClendon was also in the car, and he has been released from the hospital. A fourth person, Tori Bowles, who's a member of the football team, is in the hospital in serious condition. I spoke to a woman who says she heard the crash happen.
I just hear this bang, the power goes out, and then it comes back on. But I was curious, so I got out of bed and came out here. I can't even tell what happened because they hit the power line, they hit a light pole, and then they hit the tree, and then they hit the building. Like I don't even, and then they end up behind the car. I can't even say how they would have gotten into that position.
And you can see this memorial of flowers here is starting to build outside of Sanford Stadium. We will talk to students and fans here on campus and have the reaction for you tonight after the game.
And Dawn, we've been hearing those reactions all day. In a statement, head coach Kirby Smart said Willock was always smiling and LaCroix brought an incredible attitude and energy every single day. Governor Brian Kemp sending out the following tweet: "Our hearts break for the young lives lost last night and their families. We are lifting up their loved ones, friends, and teammates in prayer this morning." And former players speaking out, including Jordan Davis, who is now in the NFL. He tweets, quote, "There is no grief without love, and we love both of you like family." You can read more reaction over on 11alive.com. And as we said, it was just yesterday the Bulldogs were celebrating their second straight national championship. Of course, Devin Willock was part of that celebration, riding atop of a fire engine you see right there through the streets of Athens. Unbelievable. That was just more than 24 hours ago. You can see him there on top on the far left of this group right there. He even took to Instagram to share the experience he had with his fellow Georgia teammates, including a selfie with fellow lineman Tate Ratledge. Willock even made sure to get shots of the large crowd which lined those streets. And many of those Bulldog fans saw him Saturday afternoon just smiling and enjoying that celebration, soaking it all in. So hard to believe so much would change overnight. 11 Alive sports anchor Reggie Chapman joins us now with more on this tragic story. Reggie, I mean, it's clear Devin meant a lot to this team and to the UGA community.
Yeah, Kristen, the support has been pouring across social media all day long. Not just former and current players, but much of the football community, including the Falcons, Georgia Tech, and the University of Nebraska, and other teams around the SEC and the country. On the field, Devin was most used in a reserve role on Georgia's offensive line, but he had carved out a spot in their rotation. Like others who had come through the Georgia program, Willock was someone who worked hard and waited his turn. He redshirted his freshman year, running with the scout team before playing in 12 or more games in each of the last 2 seasons, including multiple starts in some of the biggest games of the year during Georgia's 2023 run to back-to-back national titles, earning more and more playing time the last 2 seasons.
And Reggie, you get a chance to be around these players all the time. You get to see them in and out. So what were they like off the field? What kind of person was he like?
Well, he was a great person, and we didn't get many opportunities to talk with Devin, but when we did, it was clear he was someone that was a kind soul and cares so much about others. Just yesterday, after the parade, Georgia fan Sam Kramer tweeted out these pictures of Devin and thanking him for taking his time to talk to his grandson, also saying that Devin went out of his way to make him feel special and that it made his day all the way. He also let the young boy wear his championship ring. These photos, a great representation of the person Devin truly was. According to our UGA insiders at UGAsports.com, fellow offensive lineman Warren McClendon was also in that fatal car accident and was released from the hospital earlier today. He took to Twitter and simply tweeted both a broken heart and a dove emoji. Such a tragic day for the Bulldog community. I'll have more on Devin a little bit later in the show in sports.
Yeah, nothing anybody could have ever expected after such a celebration yesterday. Just gut-wrenching and a terrible day. So Reggie, thank you for that. The story continues to develop. For the very latest, you can head over to 11alive.com. Now to today's other top story, the celebration of the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., complete with a visit to Atlanta from President Joe Biden. The setting was Ebenezer Baptist Church, a congregation which once regularly heard the sermons of Dr. King before his assassination in 1968. On this Sunday, the historic sermon came from the nation's president, and he used it to say democracy was at a perilous moment. Biden arrived at Hartsfield-Jackson aboard Air Force One and was met on the tarmac by Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens and U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff. Then the motorcade wound its way down Sweet Auburn and to Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Georgia's other U.S. Senator, the Reverend Raphael Warnock, welcomed him. In his remarks, the president spoke of Dr. King's mission, which was, in his words, to redeem the soul of America.
What is the soul of America? Easy to say, but what is the soul of America? Well, the soul is the breath, the life, the essence of who we are. The soul makes us us. The soul of America is embodied in the sacred proposition that we're all created equal in the image of God.
Biden's words were meant to invoke the memory of Dr. King, but also inspire a push to the future and continue his legacy. With more on the president's visit, here's 11 Alive's Karis Belger.
With today's sermon, Biden became the first sitting president to speak at Ebenezer Baptist Church, and he took the opportunity to reflect on Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy and make a charge for the future. As the sun rose on Ebenezer Baptist Church Sunday, the people filed in for a special word.
This is a historic moment, and I'm so grateful and thankful and feeling utterly blessed to be a part of this miraculous and memorable occasion.
The occasion, the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 94th birthday, and a service meant to honor his legacy ahead of the holiday which bears his name. President Biden arrived Sunday morning to give a sermon at the invitation of Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, making him the first sitting president to do so. Biden using his time in the pulpit to reflect on the impact of the civil rights icon.
We gather to contemplate his moral vision and to commit ourselves to his path, the path that leads to the beloved community.
And asking those watching and listening to do a little good in King's name.
We have to choose a community over chaos. Are we the people who are going to choose love over hate? These are the vital questions of our time.
This was the perfect time for Joe Biden to come and give his speech.
Jaquette Lowry was one of many inside the sanctuary for the president's sermon, a message she says was perfectly timed. She joined the crowd of people, young and old, waiting for a glimpse of the departing motorcade after the service. The president's words about taking action, top of mind.
It's just loving each other, you know, for who we all are and just being able to just get along and be on one accord.
In Atlanta, Karis Belger, 11 Alive News.
And if you missed President Biden's remarks, you can watch his full address today at Ebenezer Baptist over on our streaming platform 11 Alive Plus. You can download it on Roku or Amazon Fire TV. And still ahead for us today, more of our top headlines. Also, millions of Americans buy stamps every year. Coming up, our Verified team looks into whether sending mail will soon cost you a little more.
We enjoyed a dry and sunny but chilly day today. We're going to be swapping out the cool air for some warmer temperatures, but the trade-off is the return of some rainfall by Tuesday. I'll time this all out hour by hour coming up.